Okay, now it's a recording.
Whoa.
Okay, now let's start. Wait a moment. Okay, so in last class we have learned the awk, which is one of the most powerful tools in Bash. So today we're going to learn another tool, which is sed, S-E-D. So usually when you learn awk, usually at the same time you will learn sed. They're kind of two useful tools. You can combine them to make some complicated operations for files. So today we're going to try some examples in sed command. So totally in this lecture, in the slides, it's not real slides. In this document, we have 20 usages for sed, but I will not go through all of them. Maybe let's try something like 10, and you will try rest of them and see how to use a sed. Let's see. Sed command is mostly used to replace the text in a file. The below simple sed command replaces the word Unix with Linux in the file. Okay. First, let's go to the 5. Because we have a PDB file downloaded in this folder, we have been using it for awk. 1BRS. So this is the PDB file. If you open it, there are many records like the header, title of this PDB, compound information of the PDB, and then some other information like keywords, others. And then the main body of the PDB file is atom information. So it has the XYZ coordinates information for each atom. So we will use this PDB file as our examples to try those sed command. Okay. So sed command is mostly for replacing text. For example, you can use sed s slash a word, then slash a new word slash, and you need to use single quote to quote those words. So the first word is the words you want to be replaced. The second one is the one that replaces the first one. For example, in 1brs.pdb, 1brs.pdb, let's try to, for example, replace, let's say, compound. This is CMOPND. If you want replace compound, what you can do is use S, means substitute. You want to substitute one word to another. So the word you want to be substitute is compound. Is it right? Let me double check. Oh, P and D. Okay, it's right. So you want, for example, change the compound to ligand. then you can just use s slash slash slash, the first word, the second word, followed by this PDB file. Of course, by default, when you use a set command, it will print out everything on screen. But if you want to save this file, save the information or the substitute file, you can output it by using the redirect sign. Let's redirect it to, let's say 1brs ligand.pdb. Now let's see what you have done to this ligand.pdb. So here you see all the compound has been replaced or substituted into ligand. Okay. However, when you use this substitution, there might be some troubles because, okay, let's do this experiment. In the original PDB file, it's compound. Let's add another compound in the same line. You will see what happens. Compound. Okay, see, in this line, you have compound, compound. So the compound, this keyword appears twice. If we run the set command again, substitute compound into ligand and output to this file. Let's see the results. You will see the compound has been replaced into ligand. However, when the second time it appears in one line, which is here, then it's not substitute, because by default, when you substitute, it will just replace the first word it's found in each line. Okay, so by default, the set command replaces the first occurrence of the pattern in each line. So it doesn't replace the second and others. If you want replace the nth occurrence of a pattern in a line, what you can do is you can add a number at the end, for example, 2. So now let's try. The same thing. This time we substitute compound to ligand and add number 2. And now let's see what happens. Let's open the ligand PDB. This time you will see in each line, the first compound is not replaced, but the second one, it's replaced. Sometimes this function is very useful. For example, if we go down, let's see, in a PDB file, sometimes if you want to substitute some information, for example, you want substitute oxygen from capital O into maybe small o, but you don't want replace the first one, you just want to replace the second one, then you can use it. Let's try. So this time our goal is substitute the oxygen from capital O into small o, but we don't change the first O, we only change the second O by using set. But there's one thing you need to keep in mind is that here it's the first O because ATOM. This is the first O, this is second, this is third. So if you want to change the O into small o in the last line, what you can do is you change the third O. Let's try. This time we're going to change capital O into small o for each line at the third occurrence. Now let's do it by changing and adding 3. And now let's see the results. Let's go to the atom record. So for example, this is oxygen atom record. You will see at the end, this O has been changed into small o. Sometimes it's useful. Okay, so another usage of replacing the word or the pattern in a line is global. So you just add global G at the end of the your command. Okay, let's try. This time we want to replace capital O into small o for all the file. Then let's check. So now you will see compound O is small, author O is small. So every time when it sees there's O, then it will change it to small o. Okay, so that's very useful. Okay, number 4, replacing from nth occurrence to all occurrence in a line. Okay, let's say you don't want to change the first one, but you want to change the second, from the second to the fifth or sixth pattern. What you can do is you can add 2 numbers, for example, 3 to 5 or 3 to G. G means global or the end of the each line. Now let's try. But before we do it, let's add a lot of O's in the first line to check it. This time we change capital O into small o from the second occurrence to, let's say, G, to the end of the line. Okay. What's wrong? Okay, let me read it carefully. Maybe I was using the wrong way. Use combination /1/2 and G to replace all patterns from the nth occurrence of pattern in a line. I forgot. Do we need a comma here? No.
Really, how about the one more forward slash before G?
Okay, let's try. That's a good suggestion.
No.
No.
3 slash, but there will only be 2. And S something and then something and G.
Can you say it again? Because the voice is a little bit low.
So it's like, can you check the chat?
Oh, okay.
So this is the replace and
S12 G.
So you cannot have 3 slash.
Oh, yeah. We can have 3 slashes. Oh, but now we want to replace from the second to the nth occurrence of a pattern in the line, the following set. I get lost. But it's completely okay because Maybe you don't use it quite frequently. If you are interested, please do some search, see how to replace from ends occurrence to all occurrence in a line.
I typed it just as is and it worked out for me, Dr. Lee.
Text what?
I typed it just as you did on the first round and it pretty much did work for me.
Oh, okay, I see. So you're using Linux, I'm using Mac.
Yep.
Maybe this is something doesn't work on Mac. Maybe it works on Linux. Sometimes it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just do it like 2G, then it works?
Yeah, it worked. And then I checked the file and it did replace all of the O's until the end of the line.
Okay, so who else is using Linux? Can you also check? So my guess is in Linux it works because when I prepared the lecture I was using Linux, but now I'm using Mac. Sometimes there's slightly difference between Mac and Linux. Chitra, are you using Linux? Chitra? Okay, anyway, so let's do not waste too much time on this. If you have a Linux computer, please try and see if this command works. But for Mac, seems like it doesn't work. Okay, now let's continue. Changing the slash delimiter. You can use any delimiter other than the slash. For example, you want okay, it's complicated. You want to substitute HTTP // Okay, so here, because okay, let me highlight it in color. Maybe it's more clear. Okay, now you see the 3 red slashes. That's the delimiter. The thing here in the first 2 delimiters, this is the word you want to substitute. You want to be substituted. The 3W, it's the thing that you want to substitute the HTTP. However, in your first word, which is HTTP : / it contains a slash. And this slash is not the delimiter. So in order to tell shell that this is not delimiter, this is my word, this is my character, then you need to use reverse slash and then slash. Means it's a character slash. It's not delimiter. It's similar in some other languages. For example, in let's say C, sometimes you use reverse slash N to stand for new line, reverse slash T for tab, a reverse slash for slash. So here the same thing, reverse slash followed by a slash. That's the character slash. That's not the delimiter. However, it's complicated and you need some time to figure out, oh, okay, so this slash is really a delimiter and this one is not. So one thing to make it easier and clearer is let's do not use slash as your delimiter. We can use a lot of other characters as your delimiter. For example, you can use underscore here, here, here. So in this command, the underscores, they are the delimiters. So it's very clear this time. You can see your first string is HTTP : // Your second string is 3W. So you want to use 3W to replace HTTP : // So that's very clear. So some other delimiter you can use is the pipe sign. It's also distinguish the two words. Okay, now let's try. If we wanna, let's say, substitute atoms to, let's say, atoms, small atoms. Of course, we can use slash, but besides slash, we have a lot of choices. Let's use underscore and see if it works. Now let's see 1BRS atoms. Let's go down and check. So you see now all the capital atoms has been replaced into small atoms. So this is different delimiters for your convenience. Using and as the matched string. Okay. For example, if you want to substitute a word Unix into the parentheses, the curly bracket Unix, and then the ending curly bracket, you don't have to type it again. You can just use the and to stand for the first word, which in this case, it's Unix. Okay, now let's try. Let's try atoms again. So atom, we want replace the atom into, let's say, atoms, atom S. Then, of course, you can type atoms. Another way is simply use the and. Now let's check. So all the atom has been replaced by atom S. Okay. Of course, you can use multiple ands for multiple words. So if you use, let's say, and, three and, here, you will have three atoms. Let's check. Now you have three ands. And here you have atom, 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 S. Okay. Next, duplicating the replaced line with /p. Okay, so in this case, the /p flag prints the replaced line twice on the terminal. If a line doesn't have the search pattern and is not replaced, then the /p prints that line only once. So for example, if you want to replace, let's say, at the beginning you have some source, let's say source. You want to replace source into small source. And then if it's replaced, you want to print it double times or twice. Then let's see what happens. Let's see, if you have a source here, originally it's a capital source, now it's replaced by a small source. And because this line has been replaced, then it's been printed twice. This line has also been replaced, so it's printed twice. This is also printed twice. So for those lines which are not replaced, for example, this line, it doesn't contain a source, it's not replaced, then it's being printed only once. Print only the replaced lines. Okay, so if you add -n, then you will print only the lines which has been replaced. The same command, but this time we add -n. Let's go to the new file, and you will see in this file, it has only a couple of lines, less than 20. So in each line, it contains a source, a capital source, and now it's being replaced by a small source. I would say this command is more useful than the previous one, because sometimes when you want to do a search of a pattern and you want to replace it and you want to see the results that is only for those lines which are replaced, then this command is very useful. Okay, running multiple set commands. For example, let's see, in your 1brs.pdb file, maybe sometimes you want to replace, let's say, atom into another marker, let's say heat atom. And for each heat atom, you don't want to see any C alpha carbon. You want to see maybe a C small alpha carbon. Then in each line which contains atom and C alpha, you need to replace atom into heat atom or any other words, and replace Ca into C small letter a. So what can we do is, of course, you can set substitute. If you see there's atom, you replace it into heat atom. In PDB file, heat atom means non-regular atoms. But heat atom occupies 6 characters. If you want to align the file very well, you want to replace atom space, which contains 6 characters, by the heat atom. So this command will replace atom by heat atom. And also, in each line, you also want to replace, let's say, Ca into small ca. Then what you can do is, you can first do this. It will replace atom by heat atom, and then you can output it from a pipe and output into another command, which is set, again, something, let's say Ca into C small ca. So in this case, you're going to substitute both of the words in each line and output into, let's say, 1brs 2 strings, because you substitute 2 strings. Now let's see, 1brs.2 strings. So you see, for atoms, it's been substituted by heat atoms, and if there's a capital Ca, it will substitute the capital Ca into Ca, small ca. Okay, so in this way, you can substitute 2 words one by one by using the PEP. If you don't want to use a pipe, there's another way, which is simply use -E and then write the first substitution and then -E second substitution. Let's try. Set. First, let's add this -E to substitute atom by heat atom. And then -E again to substitute Ca to small ca for 1brs.pdb, and then output it into the same file. Now let's check this file, see what's the difference between the two methods. So the same thing. So first, all the atom header has been replaced, and then all the Ca has been replaced. And there's another way to substitute two strings, which is using a semicolon. So instead, what you can do is in the single code, you write two substitutions. The first one is substituting atom to heat atom, and then semicolon. Another thing is substitute Ca into small ca. So this is another way of substitute two different strings. Okay, now let's try. Two strings, and let's see. Now you have heat atoms substitute and then Ca substitute. So they have the same function. So either way is good. Okay, so we have finished 10 of them. I'll leave the rest of the usage for you. So you can just try the rest of the 10 commands by yourself. So some of them are very useful. Just for each usage, try to challenge its limit. Usually when I learn a new command or a new concept in programming language, I'll try to challenge it. For example, if it says something, I'll try maybe something more than that and see what's the usage and what's the limit of using this command. So, okay, I'll stop here. I'll leave something for you. So just try the rest of 10 usages for set. Okay, do you have any questions? Let me see. Okay, so it worked on Ubuntu. So as I said, so for Linux, it works well, but for Mac, maybe the problem is the system. When it's a Mac, it doesn't work well. Okay, do you have any other questions? If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, I think that's it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, keep safe.
Thank you, Dr. Lee.
Thank you, bye.